People who compete against themselves are the most successful. They understand one thing and one critical thing, and that is what is in their mind. That is what they're trying to make a reality. And as such, that gives them the ability to strive for something that most people just don't believe is possible. And you find that when people are competing against other people, then they're always competing against what has happened in the past and the likelihood of it happening again. But you find the most successful people, they compete against this ideal, this perfect self, if you will, that they know is deep inside of them, and they are trying to bring it into reality. It is something that they are striving towards every single day, where it has little to do with the money, it has little to do with the accolades, the success, and all the awards. There is something driving them that is just unexplainable with words. And you find that anyone who's competing against someone else, whether that is a colleague or whether that is a sibling or whether that is just someone who told you that you couldn't do it, whatever that is, that's a bar somewhere. So at some point, you are going to run out of motivation, if you will. But you find that people who just want to compete, where they have this expectation of themselves, it drives them further. And you find that Michael B. Jordan, who's one of my favorite actors, he embodies that. He talks about how he wasn't just going for any particular role, that he was trying to go for the roles that the Caucasians had, that anyone had, that he just wanted to
be.
I just wanted to compete.
I'm gonna tell you, you wanted to compete, and here was the thing. It was interesting to take the competition, but also you said something in the interview that I don't even know if you knew that I knew. They were asking you about, well, you're gonna do black characters. You're gonna be blackity black black and they black. And that's what you're gonna do. And you actually said, no, I want to do characters. I don't want to be in. You remember that?
Yeah.
What was it? What
I
was
can't
that
remember the interview, but it was kind of like the way I thought about it was just like, there's always a bias somewhere. It's human nature, right? So even with writers, there's not a lot of successful black writers that are writing, like for the big movies and at the time, it wasn't really that. There wasn't enough material out there being written for us that wasn't very stereotypical.
Right.
I've been blessed with my career to play some stereotypical characters that lasted the test of time, that just was bigger than that box that they tried to put me in. The Wire, Friday Night Lights, stuff like that. The characters.
And talk about the Wire. Talk about the Wire, because I believe in the interview you did reference to that. But talk about the significance of the Wire.
I mean, the Wire for me was at a time where, Wallace, corner boy, but he was the heartbeat of season one. He was the heartbeat of that show. Everybody loved him. So when he died, it hurt everyone.
It hurt
David
all
Simon,
of us.
He knocked on the trailer door, but you never want to get that, that knock on the trailer because because you know what I'm saying. When you get scripts, when you're on a show when nobody's safe, you always just try to skim through it to make sure your name's.
Do I die today?
Exactly. So Wallace was one of those characters that everybody watched. Everybody in Hollywood watched. All the right people, the casting directors, the producers, what I'm saying, the studio execs, so when the right people that are going to eventually see your name come across their desk, when it comes to different jobs and roles, it helps that they're a fan of certain things. Right. And Wallace was one of those characters that really did that for me. But my mentality behind it all was like, I want to play the roles that, Brad Pitt's one of my favorite actors. Leonardo DiCaprio's one of my favorite. Tom Hanks, Giovanni Ribisi, what I'm saying? Edward Norton, these are cats that I really enjoy. You, Will, Denzel, obviously, like, what I'm saying, the Mount Rushmore of actors. But I would hate seeing about being in an audition, for the role of the year.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's not one of the stereotypical, characters. Yeah. And you would see everybody from ages 40 down to 17 going out for this one role. Right. And then everybody sitting in, an audition room looking at each other like, not afraid to speak. It's like this whole pitted tension. Yeah. And my way around that was just like, look, man, I want to play roles that are people. Of course, me, with the skin that I have, the person that I am, stepping into that character, I'm going to make it inherently black. That's what it's going to be. So I told my agents and everybody, look, I want to go out for every role that's written for, like a Caucasian man. I want those roles, because when I take that role, I'm going to make it me. But it's just people. It's just characters.
And why did you feel? I guess I'm saying, I understand that, but what gave you that edge? What made you think that way? Did you just see all this clutter and you just said, I don't want to be in that box?
It was just one of those things of like, how do you reverse engineering the problem?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was, you know, I started thinking back like why I never saw a lot of your generation at each other's premieres.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never seen this person at that person's premiere or that person at that person. Like, damn, why is that? You know what I mean? Like, what's the subtext to that?
Like, why aren't they supporting, or why isn't?
And if they are, why isn't it? Why can't I see that? You know what I'm saying? So, and then I started thinking about my own circumstances with other actors that are my generation. And you know, you see them out, and people won't speak. They won't say what's up because it made it. At the time, it was a competition, and I couldn't be friendly with my competition. Oh, he got that role that I wanted, and that. So it was a subject. So I was like, man, if there's more material out there, for all of us, you know, that's the outside of that one project, that one role a year, which has really started to spark the production company, the desire to create material, create content. You know, then that wouldn't be an issue, and I enjoy. You know, seeing somebody's strengths, you know, and trying to like help them succeed.
Because in his mind, he knew what he was capable of, and he wanted to push himself further. And you find that most people who allow themselves to be pigeoned into any particular character, any particular role, they're not trying to compete. They're trying to make a lot of money. They're trying to be famous and for everybody to know their name, but they're not trying to compete. They have an appetite that can be satisfied. People who compete, it's just an unquenchable thirst that drives you to keep going, to keep trying, and to keep pursuing, and that is what is required to be a game changer. If you're looking to change the way that the world perceives you, if you're looking to change your life in general, then you have to be able to compete. And not against the expectations that others have set for you, because again, those expectations are going to be low. Those are people who just don't expect much of you. If you've gone online and looked at any article, and whether it could be one that you agree with or whether it's one that you disagree with, if you go down to the comments, you find that there's, you know, just a 50-50 difference between I agree with this, I believe this, to this is garbage, this is excuses, right? We're just a polarized country. That's just the way things are right now. And so if you go down in the comments, you'll find that people will blow any information with them. Like, screw that, right? And what they're really saying is, I don't believe that that's possible for you, for them, for themselves, right? Like that is something that they are projecting out. And so if you're competing against someone like that, the bar can't get much lower. They don't even think it's possible. Sure, you can go out there and you can compete and you can prove them wrong, but what value is that to you? And it is also true to say that there's someone who's like a cheerleader where they think that you can do no wrong, that the ground you walk on is holy. It still isn't at quite the same level as someone who is competing against themselves. Like the idea, like I'll get personal quick. So in my mind, I am going to create a financial services practice that generates $1 billion every single year. And I know that that requires me to create 1 million millionaires. And that is the goal that I am striving towards. And I'm only competing against myself on that. I'm tired of seeing the stats that talks about black wealth going to zero in 2053. I'm tired of just reading the comments where people say, well, blacks don't care about finance, they waste all their money. Like, I'm over all that, right? I'm not in the game of fighting. I don't even respond to the comments. I'm in the game of winning. And that means we have to create systems and processes that enables us within the situation we have today to excel and to compete and to win, because I'm just trying to compete. It's not a question of where you came from, what situation you were in, none of that. Those are other people's expectations of you. I'm trying to compete. And to compete, I'm looking at what is possible in the United States of America, and I'm trying to shatter some of those numbers. That's what it means for me to compete. Now, I don't know what it means for you, but I'm hoping that it means about the same thing. That there is something inside of you that when you share it with people, their eyes open up wide because they don't think it's possible. They don't think it's realistic. But that's just not what it means to be a competitive person. And that's why those who compete, they're more successful. So very simply, there's 3 things that you'll want to just take away when you're talking about competing. One is, don't listen to what other people are saying. Don't worry about things that have been done and why all the reasons that it shouldn't be done. that's really not that important to you. You have an ideal inside of you. There's a drumbeat inside of you that you are trying to strive towards. Number two is you're going to have to persevere. You're going to have to live that Achoja lifestyle we talk about. We got to take action every single day. The small steps add up to the big wins. Don't think you're going to get there overnight. I can't create a $1 billion company overnight, but I can take the steps every single day, and it's going to happen. We're going to be, I think Ludacris had a line. He said that he was like a 10-year overnight celebrity or something like that, because people didn't understand how he was grinding. He was selling his mixtapes on the back of his truck, and people just didn't understand that. And so you want to also make sure that you're putting in the little steps each time. And number three is you're going to have to find people who believe in you. It's not going to be easy. Most people are competing against whatever status quo is. But when you do find those people who also are competing against themselves, you want to harness those relationships. Keep a mastermind. Hold each other accountable and continue, because I often find, and now I'm just going to put myself on Front Street, when you have a big vision, you're often dreaming, and it makes it difficult to get kind of in the weeds in the day-to-day processes, right? If you're a visionary, then you're going to want to have someone in your life that is managerial in nature, who's going to be task-oriented just to keep you on track. And so I would just say that's just a personal one for me that I'm sharing with you guys. But I just wanted to thank you always for your time. Dre, I have a resource for you. The link's going to be down in the description. It's going to be my Lifetime Millionaire Success Blueprint, and it's just a one-pager. It's going to go over the 8 things that everyone needs in their financial toolkit. And so I just want to let you get that. If you're listening on the audio podcast, then it's not in the description. Just go to forecasthope.com/opportunity. And the reason I said that is because the millionaire is it's little to do with the money. It's about the opportunities that are available, the opportunities to choose the information that your kids absorb, whether you want to work or not, whether you want to take vacations, whether you can pay for their college and you want to buy your home. It's really about the opportunities. I find that we are often striving to have the same opportunities that most people just take for granted. And so let's go out and get them. Always thank you for your time. If you've enjoyed this, subscribe, share it, like it. I appreciate you guys always. Until next time, continue blessings on your journey to become the champion of your dream life. And as always, better self, better wealth.